It has come to my attention that Edwin Alexander Hopkins Jr., aka Donovan Sharp, the Sharp Mama and Sharp Father himself, is a proven, definitive 1000% fraud himself. Not only did he secretly, privately marry, wife up, an older, double post-wall woman, 46 years old, reportedly, allegedly menopausal, pushing 50, right? That woman is a single mother, biological mother of a actual child, a daughter. And we have the court records and the documents to prove it. This fraud is fucking toast.
Hey, you want to get it on?
One thing that I do like about Devin is she doesn't really look that much different without makeup on. Does she look better with makeup on? Absolutely. But she's not hideous without it. Devin has no cottage cheese. Like, Devin is still very, very tight and supple.
Devin has ridden the carousel. She has a lot of guys.
Devin has some high body. She had some high body count tendencies. I used to tell myself this all the time. Even if she's been ran through, she's not really acting like it.
Donovan will attempt to report this video and get it taken down, and it's bullshit.
And guys, and this is funny, when I lost my first of 2 YouTube channels, guys were telling me, go to BitChute, go to here, go to there.
So there you have it. That's Donovan Sharp admitting that 2 prior YouTube channels were deleted by YouTube, terminated, banned, lost. Here is his current channel, over 110,000 subscribers, all these views. This is no less than the 3rd channel he's had. The prior 2 were terminated by YouTube. This one by him, and any YouTube employee can easily review this and find out that it was operated, run by Donovan Sharp. It was all about him, just like his new channel. This one was banned for severe violations with hate speech. And this one was banned for severe violations with spam, deceptive practices, misleading content. Surprise, surprise, right, guys? So any YouTube employees watching this, put another notch on your belt and knock this channel out. Myself and 21 Studios do not support in any way, shape, or form harassing or doxing or anything like that of the daughter and the ex-husband of Devon Sharp. Totally not necessary, guys. Not productive, not ethical. Leave them out of it. They are innocent bystanders. They have no control over what Donovan and Devon do, and I disavow anyone who does go after them.
Devin is my girlfriend. She is not my wife. We have never been married. She is not a single mother, and we have not adopted anybody.
Donovan denied getting married. Well, I will go to a court of law and a lie detector and tell everyone right now watching that my brother, George Bruno, told me that Donovan called him and asked him if he would marry him and her. Period. But what I just told you is a fact. And I would, like I said, I would go to a court of law. You can put me on a lie detector. I don't care. That is a fact. So what does that tell me? That tells me that he married her. Period.
Donovan Sharp, for many years on his podcast and on his channel and on his social media and all this crap, he would talk publicly and privately to me in writing and text messages and stuff about his girlfriend's niece, right? Because she was such a good aunt and she was just taking care of her sister's kid because her sister had drug problems or some other crap that, she couldn't take care of the kid, right?
Devin has a niece. She's 14 years old. Mm-hmm. And I think one time, oh God, I can't even remember, but somebody said I said something because I have strong opinions. If this was years ago, I think she was like 10 or 11. She's like, that's offensive. I said, Olivia, let me put you up on game. Now we have to have more serious conversations because now she has friends that identify as boys. You know what I mean? So now she's going through that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to raise children in this day and age.
All BS, all nonsense. The entire time, it turns out, that was just one more lie, the biggest lie ever from Donovan Sharp, the Sharp father himself.
Olivia is going to be here tomorrow, and she likes zebra cakes. So, of course, Olivia was here last night, just visiting for a little bit. Devin told Olivia's friend that I am all bark and all bite. Dude, even when Olivia visits us, I try to be firm with her, but sometimes it's hard because, she's a little girl. Dude, Olivia, this was funny. Olivia was over the other night, and she was talking about this kid. Let's just say if Olivia got married to a guy, and he was out at the club all the time, I would have a conversation with him. I got a 13-year-old niece that stays here at least twice a week. All it takes is one crazy All it takes is one crazy person, and something bad could happen. Olivia is a minor. Her first crush was a kid named Jaden, right? White kid. right? Her second crush was and Jaden was actually her boyfriend. Actually met the kid. Actually met him right here, shook his hand. Then she had a crush on a kid named Alex, and which was interesting. I was like, hey, you're Alex and I'm Alex. But I still, shook his hand and looked him in the eye. And she's had crushes, Mike and Tim and blah, 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 blah. Olivia has a new crush, and his name is Kareem. His name is Kareem. Olivia is starting to like black guys. She's starting to like black guys. And it's interesting because Olivia, she's 14 years old now, and she's a beautiful girl. She could have any guy she wants. Like, she's beautiful. She's beautiful, and she's, and of course, her father is he's got problems. And it's interesting because I'm watching this happen in real time, right? She's around me a lot, and she sees how I am, right? And this is exactly the same thing that happened to me when I was a kid. I was around obviously Olivia's here once, maybe twice a week, but me being, of course, raised by my mother, I knew that I did not want a woman like my mother. So I went for women who were completely the opposite of my mother. Incidentally enough, most of those women were non-black women. I don't give a fuck them. Well, Olivia's in the same situation. And so she doesn't really have a strong male figure in her life except for me. And surprise, surprise.
And it's Cynthia Ashlock's kid. Her sister, as far as I know, doesn't even have a daughter. She only has a son who's about 20 years old, not even a minor.
Post-wall women, they get married all the time, but the men they get married to are very low value. They're beta males. They're pushovers. They're not real men. They're not the men that arouse these women. These aren't the men that these women respect and love. These are the beta males. These are the lower rung men.
I got an email from a concerned third party to this whole family situation with Donovan Sharp and the mom who's ashamed that she even has a daughter. I ended up getting the divorce papers, and I got a picture of the family. The father and the mother, Cynthia Ashlock, Devon Sharp, and even the kid. Now, obviously, I blurred out the child's face and identity and the father as well, but not Cynthia Ashlock, not Devon Sharp. Then on top of that, Red Pill Examined, go check him out. He actually discovered an admission on video from Devon Sharp.
So he filed. I was the plaintiff. I walked away with nothing. I walked away with nothing.
So it's kind of like my divorce.
Yeah.
Because my divorce was $12.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any money or kids.
Yeah,
so.
only with mine, we did have a house together, so neither of us could afford the house, so we ended up foreclosing the house. So I do have a bankruptcy on my record as well. That's public record too. If anyone wants to go look that up and throw it on a YouTube video.
He pulled up the bankruptcy records of Cynthia Ashlock in New Jersey, aka Devon Sharp. Now, from that, he was able to verify the claims that I made about her being a single mother. And he proved beyond any shadow of a doubt, that she put on her penalty of perjury, right, that she was a biological mother and had a daughter. Now, credit due where credit's due, right? O'Shea Duke Jackson, a lot of love for that guy, governor, president of the Black Panthers, in my opinion, right? He was the first to publicly suspect that Donovan had wifed up a single mom. A few others I know behind the scenes had this theory, but no one had taken this public yet. Not even me at the time, right?
You live with that lady. I believe she does have a kid because stop the show. I remember one time I called over there and there was a kid in the background. You are dating or married to a single mom, Donovan. You won't stop lying. That lady is a single mother and the baby is white and you live with the chick.
Yeah, his gut was right. His instinct was right. Donovan was a super fraud, even bigger fraud than I ever thought.
Anybody mixed up with O'Shea is going to be rotten to the core. I don't give a fuck. Hell, even Kevin Samuels kept his distance from O'Shea, at least publicly. Behind the scenes, not so much. But you didn't hear that from me.
The biggest reason Kevin Samuels never associated with Donovan Sharp after he became a superstar, a megastar of the manosphere, and blew up worldwide is because he knew Donovan Sharp was a fraud. Probably from my documentary, The Truth About Donovan Sharp, in addition to his own firsthand experience.
Gentlemen, please welcome Kevin Samuels to TSR Towers. Kevin, thanks for making time for us again tonight, man. We appreciate it.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, Donovan?
What you and I are going to talk about is why is it that a growing number of grown men, why are they living with their mamas? What is going on with that?
Now, credit due where credit's due. As far as I understand, Donovan was a little bit responsible for helping Kevin Samuels blow up. Kevin was a fan of his show. He would call in, kind of got his name known through that a little bit. But why would Kevin, never repay this favor or whatever to Donovan? Probably because he knew Donovan was a fraud who wifed up in private a double post wall single mom.
Gentlemen, this is why Kevin and I this is why we fell out. And I said, how many times have you shouted me out on your show? He says, I've shouted you out on my show once or twice. I was like, dude, how many times have you been on my show? And he couldn't tell me. I said, dude, you've been on my show 47 times. And I said, look, Kev, you don't owe me anything. You do not owe me anything. I said, but when you go on to the Joe Budden podcast and you shout out a man who clearly, who you promoted a book for a man who does nothing but bitch and moan about black women, wrote a book that could basically be looked at as misogynoir. All this dude wants to do is bash black women under the guise of negotiating with them. You want to shout him out, but you don't want to shout me out? Like, I've been on, like, dude, I told him straight up, I said, you don't owe me anything, but dude, I had you on my platform when nobody knew who the f*** you were, man. And now that you're approaching 1 million subscribers, now you don't want, now you'll have nothing to do with me. I told him, dude, we were supposed to meet up in Phoenix. We were supposed to do content. You told me no. Or you told me, but then you ended up flaking for some stupid reason. Yes, this is Kevin Samuels.
He has spent, 4, 5, 6, 7 years trashing single moms. Easily one of the manosphere's top critics of single moms.
Well, Cassie would have the world believe that she's always been this doting, dutiful, oh, you know what? No, Cassie West has been ran through. Cassie West was a single mom when she married David West. Cassie West chased bad boys. She's a Karen that was ran through like everybody else was a single mom. And this explains why this explains why David West is as weak as he is.
And it's not just that she has a kid, right? Whatever. It's that with single moms, you have all these other problems and baggage and bad outcomes for the kids. This stuff is well documented. That's why the manosphere harps on it. And he joined in on that louder and more bombastically and ruder than anyone else.
They wanted you back when you were 22 and 23 and young and childless and hot. But when you're in your mid to late 30s, the bad boys don't really want you anymore.
With the single mom thing, it's literally cucking yourself, raising another man's seed.
Not wanting to raise another man's kids with a woman who was sexually irresponsible, that's not immature. That's common sense, Adam. Using your resources on another man's offspring, believe it or not, that's fiscally stupid and is literally throwing away money. Because that relationship is going to end at some point because single mothers are... Adam, I don't know if you've heard this, but they're...
I want to put a little nightcap on this part here, right? Marrying a double post wall single mom pushing 50 is everything the red pill and the general manosphere stands against. It's like selling get-rich-quick courses out of your mom's basement, living with your mama. It's pathetic, 100% total fraud. Look, man, if you go on the internet and someone claims that they were in the military, they won these awards, combat medals, Purple Heart, whatever, you would want to see evidence of that stuff, those claims, right? Especially if they're selling something, a book, a self-defense course, a gun, so whatever they're selling, right? These are serious claims. Same thing with fitness YouTube, right? Or fitness internet, content. If that guy says he can bench 500 pounds, 600 pounds, that's a lot of fucking weight. You want to see him do that on video. You want to see evidence with your own eyes about his claim to authority and credibility and why you should listen to him. That's why he lied. He lied to get money out of your wallet, more money. The more he lied, the more money he got out of guys. Not just you, men like you. Men who are hurt and wounded and looking for answers, looking for the truth in a world that hates them. And what did they do when you were looking for the truth and men like you? They lied to you.
My girlfriend literally works for me. She is on my payroll. She gets a paycheck stub. She has a W-2. She is an employee of Donovan Sharp Incorporated. And the reason I want to point that out is because it wasn't easy for her, guys. I've known Dev now for 4 years. And dude, trust and believe, I made her work harder than any man has made her work ever. I made her prove for 18 months that she was on my program before I finally gave her that commitment.
To reiterate, who another man finds attractive, not attractive, That's up to you, man. I'm not here to like play dick police. Some men like, tits on a stick. Other men like fat and chubby. It is what it is. Problem I have with Donovan is that he lied about all of this for years, right? Pretending he had some smoke show, hard nine, who was not a single mom, right? Porn star body, all this fucking crap. He lied and lied and lied. These men looking for answers. Also puts into question all his many years he spent on Roosh V forums and Return of Kings and YouTube, bragging about being a player and a slayer in Vegas, right? All the stuff.
And it's funny. Different people have different kinds of game. I'm a very high. This is why cocaine was my drug of choice, because I'm a high octane guy, man.
Right. Hey, Donovan, when are the cocaine tales coming out, bro?
Oh Lord,
I'll buy that. When are those tales coming out, bro?
Those can't be on YouTube.
I'm going to end the story with this. Dude, I have so many crazy cocaine stories. I can't even tell you. I'm going to tell you a real story.
Banging all these 9s and 10s and strippers and all this bullshit, right? That kind of shit. A lot of guys, and I believe with him based on what he said publicly about this kind of stuff, the stories of Vegas, right? The strippers. A lot of that's just trading cocaine and weed and shit for banging strippers. That's not impressive.
So I go to room 215. I walk into this hotel room at the Bellagio, and there is a blonde lying motionless on the ground. Lying motionless on the ground. Of course, I see the big pile of cocaine there. And I'm like, Kevin, what the fuck? He told me that they had hooked up. They were going to hook up. They were going to do some blow, and they were going to and all this other kind of stuff. But he discovered that she went for his wallet, and that's when he accidentally hit her and knocked her out. He says, I think I killed her. Here's what really happened. What my friend Kevin used to like to do is he used to like to go to Backpage, and he used to proposition all the strippers and prostitutes. Hey, come to do some blow cocaine with me, and we'll have a good time.
Let's party.
That happens in a lot of major cities with guys who find these used up, trashy women, and they barter cocaine and weed and whatever else to have sex. Right? He's a simp. Ain't nothing impressive about that.
I had one of my other friends, Erica. She was over, and we had like a half of an 8-ball. We were just gonna do blow, and that's
I've dated and multiple strippers. I know several bouncers and DJs at several strip clubs in Vegas. I've had drinks with strip club owners on more than one occasion. Dude, I've done more blow with strippers than I can't think of an analogy, but yes. This is what happens. When you walk back there, it's supposed to be quiet, okay? But it ain't. Listen, you guys here, when you go back there, you straight up hear balls slapping ass. You hear dudes moaning and groaning, getting blowjobs. You hear the girls screaming and faking orgasms. That's where the real money is made. And I'm almost certain that's not just in Vegas. Kevin Samuel says, yes, it is.
In my documentary, The Truth About Donovan Sharp, I had to look at and examine, Donovan's real name, Edwin Alexander Hopkins Jr. I did that in part and ultimately after as well to look at his criminal factual history in Florida, North Carolina, and all these other states and stuff, right? Because I wanted to look at his real history of who he was and who he was over a long period of time. Now, as a man, not necessarily, is your future determined by your past. The Manosphere and 21 Studios, I'm all about personal transformation and personal change. You can change, but the reality is real change is hard. It is difficult. That's why most people don't do it. Now, the reason you look at that too is because you can build, this is what lawyers and law enforcement do, right? They look at a person's past to build a character judgment and evaluation of their future, right? What are they going to do over a long period of time? Donovan Sharp, he never changed. Someone who commits fraud over a long period of time is probably going to keep committing fraud, which is exactly what he's done in the Manosphere. His history of fraud never stopped. It has evolved into the Manosphere and this fake alpha male, apex alpha male guru. It's all nonsense. Fresh and shit, fake and fraud, Rollery Tomasi, Soy Francis, Rihanna Stone, Richard Pooper, the MLD, the child stalker. These people are all frauds. They're all beta males. They're all bang nothing but fat women or no woman or their 5-finger pussy, right? They don't do any of these things. They're single mom experts, especially Richard Pooper. They're bullshitters and con men trying to deflect from the truth. They don't want you knowing the truth because the minute you do, and the minute you're a man enough to admit it and to face the truth and to face reality, you will stop giving them money. This has happened on Donovan's Patreon since I exposed him. He's had a 60% drop in his Patreon revenue and subscriber base. That was one of his main sources of income, if not the main majority source of his income. Exposing these frauds hits them where it hurts. That's why they lie about me and they defame me and they slander me and all this crap, right? Anything to save their bank account. I all that up because I don't give a about your money. I don't give a about your clout. I don't give a about your drama. All I care about is the truth. And if you don't like it, you can go yourself.
There are days where it's sometimes, how can I put this? There are days where I question myself. Was I really Devin's first choice? These days don't happen often, but they do happen. Was she really, was I really Devin's first choice?
The Cuck Zero crew with the fraud father himself, Rollery Tomasi at the top, all these weirdos and beta males and gamma males and just mangina chimpanzees and all this shit, right? Look at them continue to prop Sharp up. It's been proven now beyond any shadow of a doubt. Not one of them will stand up and call out the truth and say, hey, Donovan up. I'm disgusted by what he did. I'm cutting ties immediately. They won't do any of that.
Dude, there's no such thing as a man who likes big women. No. A man who likes big women is just a man who can't get women who are in good shape. That's it. Myron Gaines said it best. You give a chubby chaser a blue check, 100,000 followers on Instagram, and a Lambo, and all of a sudden, doesn't like big girls so much. Men who prefer bigger women do so. That is what Rollo calls making their necessity a virtue. Well, the reason I date big women is because they're my type. No, they're not. No, you are just unattractive to women who are smaller than you. That's what it comes down to.
All right. I am withholding sex from my girlfriend until she loses weight.
The fraud father, Rollery Tomasi, stole from original, older Red Pill content creators, guys who were better than him, guys who had firsthand real experience in the field, in real life, that he never got. He's a parasite and a plagiarist, and he peddles it as his own original stuff.
The Book of Womanese Volume 1 dropped this Friday, and it's only $16. 16. Get on the waiting list now.
Donovan did the same thing, stealing, his womanese from the Book of Pook in particular. Famous old pickup artist, old red pillar, right?
If you're dumb enough to give your money to a fat guy who claims he's a personal trainer, that's on you. If you're dumb enough to give your money to a homeless guy or a broke guy who is a financial advisor, that's on you, man. Fool me once, shame on them. Fool me twice, shame on me. The person fooled you the first time when you saw their lifestyle. The guy was broke, he was fat, out of shape, whatever the case may be. Guess what? At that point, if you still decide to hire that guy, that's on you, regardless.
For those of you who bought a course or a product or an ebook or whatever from Donovan Sharp, the Sharp father himself, you have every right to a refund because he sold it to you on false pretenses and false premises, right? He false advertised to you. He lied to you to get you to take out your credit card, push the numbers in on your laptop or your phone or whatever, and give him money. He stole from you. You have every right to go for a refund and a chargeback on all that shit. You have every right to report him to your state's attorney general for fraud and false advertising and all this crap. If he did this crap with a used car, rolled back the age of a car by 7 years like he did his wife, you go to jail for that in some states.
Last question. And we'll start with Dev. So let's say your best friend she's 38, right?
Okay.
And she is newly divorced. She has a kid, but the kid is probably 16, 17 years old. What would be your advice in terms of competing with younger, more attractive women? Because Allie has talked about this before. There are older women out here, older single moms who are out here out competing younger childless women. So how would it, listen, I'm not saying this would be easy, but it is possible. So what would be your advice to your friend?
Well, okay. So does she have full custody of this child or does she have shared parental?
Let's say
50-50?
she has a 50-50. Let's
Then
say
if
1
she's
week on, 1 week
50-50,
off.
then she's not a single mom.
Oh,
She's co-parenting.
Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. That makes sense because you're not a single parent
Right.
at that point.
No,
Okay.
you're definitely not. You're no more
Okay.
single parent than if you were still married.
In conclusion, I don't hate Donovan as much as he hates me or as much as he says I hate him and all this garbage, right? It's extremely amusing and funny and entertaining to expose and mock and ruthlessly make fun of this fucking loser. Myself and 21 Studios, as my company that I founded in 2007, we're here to set the record straight. They hate that I make these videos because they're true, not because they're false, because they're true.
Devin, let me get you into this conversation because I met you when you were 32. You are an older woman, quote unquote. Please listen, Dev is 45.
Devin is a 7. Her body, on the other hand, is an 8.5. Her body is an 8.5. Her body is an 8 on her worst day. On her best day, her body is a hard 9. Maybe even a little higher depending upon what she is wearing. And anybody who just take a stroll through my social media feed. Devin's got a hot bod. You guys know that.
Do you want to know what else is humorous? Is that you're 47 and you think you look fabulous. That to me is, listen, I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're 47 and work your ass off. And I'm happy that you're confident. But at 47, you don't look fabulous, sweetheart. It was like that dude who called in the Red Man group, said that his girl was a 9. And then later on, we found out she was 44 years old. We were all like, whoa, wait a minute. No such thing as a 44-year-old 9.
I misled my audience about Devin's age, but I did that for privacy purposes.
Devin slept with a lot of guys, gentlemen. Devin has a high body count. You think I don't know that my own girlfriend has had sex with a lot of men?
My results speak for themselves.
Thanks for watching this video. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about the video. I will read it and get back to you. Maybe leave a heart if you're lucky, right? In particular, send it to fans of Donovan Sharp. Wake those men up, especially if they're your friends. It's time they woke up to the reality and the truth. This has been Anthony Dream Johnson. I'm the founder of 21 Studios, first president of the Manosphere. It's time for revolution in this community, a revolution in the Manosphere, a revolution against the frauds and for the truth.